Okay, what's up guys? Today I'm going to take a look at the APX 25 I recently shot. I was only able to do this because David C. sent me a bulk loader, so thank you again for that. I didn't have a bulk loader, but I had some old APX 25 that expired in 1998. So let's jump right in. The first stuff I want to show you was actually developed not in Rodinal, but Diafine. And the results were fine. I didn't love them. I didn't hate them. They were fine. But after developing in Rodinal, it was a huge difference, and I'm really excited to share that. I mean, the fine grain is incredible. It just, to me, almost looks like it was medium format film. Just some quick notes. I shot this on the Canon 1V for just reliable and consistency. If I'm testing something, I want a very modern film camera just to make sure everything's working right. So I shot this with the Canon 1V. With the bulk loader, I loaded it into a cartridge. Now, the first roll actually had an issue because, well, the first roll I developed in Diafine, second roll, it actually tore in the camera, so when I opened the back, the film got exposed, but somehow it didn't really, because it's a slow speed film, I think, it didn't really affect it at all. So, this first image we're going to look at is of Brixton. He is the most handsome dog, and he's definitely better looking than your dog. Just on a rainy day. Again, this is the Diafine. It's fine. Nothing, no pun intended, nothing spectacular about this image. I just wanted to test it out. Here's another one, and although I'm pretty sure I nailed my focus, it looked a bit soft in the Diafine. I shot it at box speed. No, actually, I think I may have shot it at 12. ISO 12. I'm actually not sure at this point, but again, it's okay, but it doesn't scream fine grain. Perhaps because it pushed it a bit. Diafine is an interesting developer that naturally pushes your film. You cannot, if you haven't used Diafine before, you can't change your development by adding time or temperature. It's pretty much set. So you could actually throw a lot of different films in one batch of development and they'll all come out, but each film gets pushed a bit differently. So for example, Tri-X you can shoot, it's recommended at 1600. Sometimes I shoot at 1250, but it's been a crapshoot, to be honest. Like with this Minolta SRT 201 actually, all of my stuff was overexposed shooting at 1600, which is interesting. So it could be the camera. It also may be that at 1600 with the camera that really doesn't go, with the lens I was using, I couldn't go to f/22, and it topped out at 1,000th of a second, so I couldn't cut much light out. So a lot of my stuff ended up overexposed, and then I reshot with it. I'm going to share a video of me shooting with the SRT 201 and do a review on it soon. But yeah, let's keep moving forward. Here is a shot by my girlfriend, same thing, Diafine APX 25. Now, a lot of people recommended to me I use a tripod. Yeah, it's a good idea, but if you're going to shoot at a shallow, aperture, if you're shooting at like 1.4, you don't really need a tripod, even though it's such a slow speed film. Here's Brixton. I'm thinking this was probably at about f2-ish. Of everything I developed in Diafine, this is the image that felt the sharpest, I liked most from a technical standpoint, and also because Brixton's the most handsome dog, and he's definitely better looking than your dog. Alright, so now we're going to get into the stuff I developed in Rodinal. Here we have something I would normally not shoot. I'm not really into any type of landscape or really inanimate things, actually. I like to photograph people, but I wanted to just test it and do some sort of traditional photography, make an image that's about form, shape, tonal range, etc. And as you guys can see, it looks a lot more fine grained. I actually really liked the look of this image. Here's the Rodinal APX 25. The rest are going to be actually in a Rodinal, so I won't say that again. But here's the most handsome dog on earth, Brixton again. This is actually really high up. I told him to climb it, and he did. And then he had to figure out how to get down, but he managed. I wanted some rim light, and so if you're not familiar with that, rim light is what you get when you have a backlight. So your light source is behind your subject and can create sort of a rim light. So this wasn't exactly behind him. It was sort of a like 45 degrees over here behind him. So I really, this is one of the images I really liked, but I don't think it really shows how fine and how beautiful the look of this film can be because of the backlit situation. I want to show you guys something with more even lighting with a directional light source, meaning a light source that is shooting in the direction I'm shooting in. So here's one I wanted to grab real quick. This is what I was actually looking for, so I think I called him because I wanted sort of an S-curve shape, and so I just called him and he looked back at me. You can just see it is incredibly fine. And this is, by the way, with the dilution of 1 to 50 parts. This is not 1 to 100 or what I've been recommended, even higher. The higher you dilute, the more... Sorry guys, I'm really sick. The higher you dilute, the finer the grain. You can do like 25 too, but 50 is your standard dilution. I think what most people are using Rodinal at. So yes, beautiful, beautiful, fine grain. It kind of can make you fall in love with an image, even if the subject isn't interesting. It's kind of the experience I had when shooting. I'm not a Leica fanboy because I don't even own Leica cameras except for my M3, but testing Leica lenses, like, it made everything look good from a technical standpoint. It doesn't mean it's a good photograph, but I think you guys get what I mean. This is probably actually, I think, my favorite. This is a hyena I ran into, and just, dude, such a model. Brixton doesn't listen to me for shit, let me tell you guys, when we're out and having fun, but he's extremely well trained, so he knows how to pose. He knows what the camera is. I've been photographing him since he was a puppy. I'm sure he doesn't know what's making photographs, but he knows the deal. Here, I think you just, look at the detail in the rocks. Obviously, if I zoom in too much, it's equivalent of overly pixel peeping, and it doesn't look quite as fine, but just zooming out to a normal full view. The tonal range is beautiful. The detail is beautiful. Honestly, this may be my new favorite film. I'll probably shoot Tri-X as my go-to, but shooting with this film, man, I gotta save it because I only have, I had one roll of it, not a 35mm. I had a bulk roll, so 100 feet, but I'm gonna definitely cherish this. And David, if you want a roll, let me know, and I'll roll one for you, and I'll send it to you. I really appreciate the loader. Here's another one. Obviously, you're not going to notice how much detail you have in the rocks because you're simply farther away, but it is definitely a sharp image. I did not really do any editing to these images. I think I mildly sharpened them, but they didn't need it. I choose to not do the unsharp max when I scan the negatives in. So since I didn't do that, I just do a tiny bit. I like photographing him next to fire hydrants. Here you guys can see, just beautiful tonal range, and even in the blacks, I haven't lost my detail. It's a good exposure. I'm really happy with the image. You can see a lot of detail down here with the paint chipping, and yeah, I love it. Here's another one of the most handsome dog on earth. That's significantly better looking than your dog. Yeah, another one of him striking a pose. We had a good day that day. Seriously, it was a good day. I think on this day I was planning on going out and shooting for me alone and just doing my thing. I love to just wander the streets alone because I engage in what I would call a walking meditation, where I'm just being present. So I walk, just being present, observing everything around me, and then I try to capture what I'm seeing. Other people have a different approach with street photography. Maybe they find the light or the composition they like, and they just wait for someone to enter it in order to add some sort of subject matter, visual interest. But to me, in those images, as beautiful as they can be, they lack story, substance. If you say, what is this image about? it kind of stops at, well, it's about it's about great composition, lighting, technical stuff. But to me, those images aren't about much, and they're fine. There's a place for it. I'm going to kind of show you guys some of those I actually did shoot just to test the film. Another one of an incredibly handsome gremlin I found. Alright, so here I went for a walk around my neighborhood just to test it out, just to test the film. This is the first roll I shot, which luckily wasn't ruined when I opened the camera with the film exposed, because the film was tightly wound. I had finished it. It just broke out off of the cartridge. And so one image of all actually was, had some fogging, but the rest were fine. And I think that's purely because it was the APX 25. So, slower speed film requires a lot more light to get an exposure. It's a lot easier to destroy a roll of film by opening the film back door with like Tri-X or something that's a high speed. So yeah, I'm just testing out the film, going for aesthetic value. I really loved just a lot here. Varying lines. I love the way that the car reflects the lines of the wall, how it curves it. It's really just beautiful. It was a beautiful car, yeah. But not much to say past that. I didn't love this image. It's kind of whatever compositionally, but I just thought it was an interesting test shot. I loved this image just because I enjoy seeing how much detail I'm getting out of this film. So it's not true if you think you can't do street photography with like an ISO 25 film. That's what I was doing here. I was just walking around. I saw this guy coming up on me. He was riding pretty fast, and I quickly raised my camera, grabbed the shot. Now, that can be a challenge for people. I kind of have the benefit of doing professional photography for 10 years, and so there's a lot of muscle memory involved. This isn't me being arrogant or boasting. This is something anyone would achieve, I think, with enough practice in anything. I think of photography as a sport in a lot of ways, and when I think about how can I improve, it's not that different when I think about how I can improve at jiu-jitsu. So this guy was coming up, quickly raised the camera, back focused, grabbed the shot. It came out. Now, this would be a lot harder, though, I will say, with a manual focus lens, because I think I was shooting with the 24-70 at 2.8. So I don't have, a very deep depth of field to work with, and so, you have to nail the focus. It would be really hard to do manually with a guy moving really fast. Poor Eric Garcetti, mayor of Los Angeles. I like Garcetti. No politician's perfect, but someone's been posting these everywhere. Anyway, I'm gonna experiment with this film and try it out. And god damn, the tonal range is beautiful and it's incredibly fine grained. And this image. Well, I guess this image is about something, but it's still an inanimate. I can't even talk. I'm so sick. An inanimate object, but I think it does a good job of demonstrating what this film can do. And by the way, next time I shoot this film, I'm going to develop with a 1:100, or someone was telling me to do a 1:125. Here I just wanted to see kind of like the dynamic range, what I could do with a shot that was so heavily backlit. So you're going to have a big disparity from the highs and lows. I've exposed for this area here. I don't know, I just wanted to try it out. I think I like this a lot more than if I did this with Tri-X. Here's my beautiful girlfriend, and I think this really demonstrates how tack sharp this film can be. Now, yeah, I'm using pro equipment, so that is something to consider, Like, film comparison tests, which this is not, it's kind of tricky because, the camera doesn't matter too much, but the lenses do matter. And so, if someone's demonstrating it with a pretty mediocre lens, you might not really see the full potential. Here you're seeing a modern Canon lens, the 24-70, and you can see how sharp of an image I was able to get. This is a shot that was actually ruined with some fogging, so it's only one I kind of manipulated where I just darkened it a bit. It was overexposed, hazy, and so I added some contrast and I darkened it a touch. Another shot, me just walking my neighborhood. I wanted to see if I could finish a roll. This is the first roll I shot that I developed in Rodinal. I just wanted to see if I could finish a roll in my neighborhood, like go out for 1 hour, see if I can do it. And yeah, you know, it's surprisingly able to get some interesting stuff, but not a lot of people interacting, which is, again, what I like to shoot. Now, I honestly, like, some of these shots felt like medium format to me. I mean, I've been blown away by the results. I knew I'd probably like it. The film has withheld time. Like, it expired in 98, and I'm still shooting it at box speed. I thought maybe I would have to add a little time. I know it's black and white film. You don't have to add as much as color. But yeah, I've just been really, really, really impressed with it. I'm going to save this roll. I'm going to shoot it here and there, but yeah, it's definitely not something I want to burn through. That's it for today. Let me know what you guys think. If you guys have shot with APX 25 and you have some tips, let me know. If you have some questions, let me know. And if you guys are interested in seeing anything specific with this film, what it can do, just let me know. And you know what? I missed one shot I did really like. I want to show you guys, and you can see these as well as others I've shot with this film on Instagram at retrograding. But let's see if I can find it real quick. Here's just me playing around at night. Yeah, this one. I wanted to include this shot. I think I was at f2 or so. I was shooting with a 135mm, and just for aesthetic value, it's really beautiful. And you know, I don't know if I would like the image as much if I was shooting it with a high contrast film, where I feel like you need substance in that case. If you're not going for like maximum resolution, and you know, if you're not going for aesthetic value, or if the film doesn't add to that. Not saying high grain film doesn't add aesthetic value, but I hope you guys understand what I'm trying to say. I am really sick, so that's it. I'm gonna go. I gotta teach a class, and then tomorrow I'm shooting a job, and on the job I will document it. So I'll put a GoPro on the camera, and I want to show you guys what it's like shooting as a professional. Might be interesting to you whether you're a professional or not a professional. Maybe you just want to see how another person works, and I'm going to share that with you guys. I will also potentially shoot one roll of film on the job, so I want to demonstrate to myself, really, it's a good challenge I like to take, where I will shoot one roll of film and see, does it really matter if I have a high burst rate with a modern digital camera? Can I still get like 36 great shots? Like, what will my hit rate be out of 36 frames? Will I nail it? Last time I did it, my hit rate was like 34 out of 36, and I loved every single image. And the two I didn't get, I was aware I missed the shot as I shot it, because you can hear it on the video, me saying, crap, you know, better reshoot that or whatever. So I'll see you guys soon. Let me know if you're enjoying this kind of content. Feedback is really welcome. I'll see you guys in the next video.